Hello everyone and welcome back to my Project Pan update number 2. I am filming this update slightly earlier. My last update was filmed on January 26th and today is February 22nd. If you haven't seen my intro and first update, I will link the playlist up here and in the description box down below. I just want to start off by saying that I haven't had much progress in terms of the weight, although I have been using these products consistently. With some products, it is truly a bit disappointing. However, I have hit my goal on one of the items, which means that I'll be rolling that out and rolling in something new in its place. First up, I have the Red Earth Herbal Essence Foundation. And this is the product I finished up actually. So even before my last update, I had to start scraping the product out of the bottle instead of using the pump. And since then, I've been having this product sitting upside down until today. But as you can see, nothing has settled. Seems like there's a bit, but they're all like stuck to the side. So I will call it done. And I will introduce a new item at the end of this video. Next up, I have the Rimmel BB Cream. This is the product in this update that had changed in weight. It weighed 28 grams today, and in my last update, it weighed 33 grams. So it's a change of 5 grams. And it definitely feels a lot lighter as well, because the packaging is kind of light to begin with. So you can really feel the difference in weight once the product start getting less and less. So I am pretty happy with that. At this rate, I think there is a slight chance that I could finish this up by my next update. But if not, I am almost confident if I keep up this rate that I could finish it in 2 updates. That would be very exciting. For the following items, I haven't had any changes in weight since my last update, although I have been using them consistently. So technically I know the weight has changed, but it's just not as much as a gram because the scale I use doesn't have decimals. I have the Makeup Forever powder. It weighed 70 grams last time, as well as my intro actually, and it still weighs 70 grams today. And by the way, I have decided to track the number of uses starting from today for each of my Project Pan items, so I can kind of have that going along with my weight, just so that I will actually be able to share how many times I've used a certain product. Next up, I have the Marc Jacobs Spotlight Glow Stick. Is a cream highlighter. It weighed 60 grams in the last update and in my intro. Today it still weighs 60 grams. And my goal is just to use up 5 grams. So far I have used up 0 grams, but that's okay because I can see some visual progress. It's becoming flatter and flatter. So I'm still hopeful that I can see some change in weight in my next update. This is one of those products that I truly feel like I used a lot, and I used so many times yet there's no change in weight. So by my next update, I will actually be able to tell you a number of how many times I used it. Next up, I have a NARS liquid blush in the shade Luster. It weighed 85 grams in my last update and it still weighs 85 grams today. For this product, I wasn't surprised at all with having no change in weight because it is a very slow moving product. A tiny little bit goes a very, very long way. So I'm just going to take my time with it. And also I know that I haven't used it as much as I had used the highlighter. Next up, I have the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This weighed 64 grams in my last update and it still weighs 64 grams. My goal is only to hit pan on this, And I do anticipate that taking me a full year. Next up, I have the ABH Soft Glam palette. For this one, I don't really have a specific goal. I just hope to use it as much as possible. And of course, I hope to hit pan on at least one of the shades in here. So I'm planning to keep this in the project just for the whole year and see how far I could get. So it's kind of like a mini unofficial palette. The only thing is I know I'm incredibly slow when it comes to using eyeshadows. So any sort of eyeshadow panning project is just not for me personally. Looking at this palette, I feel like I'm starting to get a dip in the shade Cypress Umber. Other than that, there's not much changes to it. I have tried using the shades Glistening and Tempera as a highlighter, and it's kind of working. So I hope to continue using it that way and hope to have more visible progress. As for weight, of course, it still weighs 178 grams. I'm just kind of weighing it for fun. However, I just want to throw in an update. I took the brush out since my last update. 178 grams is the weight with the brush, and 174 grams is how much the palette weighs without the brush in it. From this update on, I will be just weighing this palette without the brush in it. And then next up, the Laura Mercier eyeshadow stick in the shade Amethyst. This is one of the items where I do have a bit more progress this month, and this is as much as I have left. So I'm very happy to see the changes in this product. I can't say how many months it's still gonna go for because it's definitely a very long lasting product. I use this every single time when I wear makeup. But I'm pretty sure if I keep using it at this rate, I could potentially finish this by summertime. Next up, I have a MAC lipstick in the shade Sea Sheer. For this one, I gave myself a goal of just using it 30 times. And so far, I have used it 16 times. So in my last update, I said I hope that I could reach at least 16 times by my second update, which I did. So I'm pretty happy. I hope that I could reach maybe 24 uses by my next update. Masks are still required in where I live right now. So lipstick in general is still a very difficult thing for me. That's why I'm really not aiming for a ton of uses. Next up, I have a lip gloss from Shu Uemura. This is the shade BG04. And in terms of weight, I cannot believe it still weighs at 19 grams. It just blows my mind because, as I mentioned last update, the packaging is opaque at the top. It's completely black, not see-through at all. However, in the bottom, it's clear. And in my last update, I wasn't able to see at all where it sits at. But today, I could see that the product is about halfway. I'm not sure if it could show up on camera, but in real life, I could certainly see where the product settles, and I always have this sitting upright. Although I couldn't tell where the product was at when I rolled it in my intro, I know that I hadn't used this many times at all before starting this project pan. It was like at least 90% unused when I rolled it in. But to my surprise, now that the product's sitting halfway, I've had no change in weight. On the packaging, it says it weighs 5.2 grams. So the only explanation that I could come up with is that the product was never full when it was new. Otherwise, I cannot come up with any possible reasoning behind why the product weight has not changed at all. And yes, this product is one of the products where I'm very curious to track the number of uses because I feel like I used this many times and I'm pretty sure I did. And I see visible progress, but the weight is just not changing. That was all 10 items. Just a quick recap that I am rolling this foundation out. My new item is actually not that exciting. It's another foundation. It is the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. And my goal, just like all the other foundations I had in my project pan, I hope to use this all up until I couldn't get anything out, of course. In terms of weight, it weighed 117 grams. So that's everything for update number 2. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really means a lot to me. And if you are interested to see more updates, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.